was talking about as Jonathan and I were sitting here, just kind of catching up, finding out that he's scheduled a training for himself a mere couple of days after coming back from a long break. We are basically entering what I am starting to call World 2.5. So World 1.0, of course, was analog. We were in the office, we saw each other's smiling faces, and then all of a sudden, with barely a month's warning, we were moved to World 2.0, which is we all were essentially remote. We had to connect to one another using our computers, which is basically like trying to shove all of human interaction through a straw, which is a challenge in of itself. And part of that is just due to our lack of familiarities with the tools. It's also the maturity of those tools, as well as our own comfort with this new way of interacting. And yet here we are again, changing the script a third time, but I wouldn't necessarily qualify this as a full 3.0. I don't know if we're changing versions, but we're definitely receiving an update. We're in 2.5. Some of us are going to be in the physical office space while others are not. And our role on the team in that regard will rotate. There will be times when you are the remote worker. There will be times when it's your colleague who is the one that is remote. But how best are we going to get the bang for our buck in this new world? Well, let's go ahead and get started. I got to design the slide, so I get to do whatever I want, but I do this on purpose. Engagement, and I have paired it with cables. I think that pretty much sums up the experience, don't you think? Engagement belongs to the bearer. That's it. We are the sole arbiter, guardian, knight in shining armor. We're it. When it comes to our engagement, we alone have to decide how engaged, how involved we are in any situation. Our role as the manager, as the leader, is simply to craft the environment that promotes a desired action. But at the end of the day, it's up to each of us to decide what this is going to be. But as we will talk about later, this is not a 24/7, just give it all of my energy and leave nothing for myself. This is going to be kind of like a gas tank. At times it's filled and at times it's not. And you'll have to come to a determination of what is going to be a good balance for not only you, but for your team. Now, speaking of, one of the things that can get in the way of our engagement, of course, is motivation. And that affects all of us, regardless of our space. I want you to take 60 seconds to think of as many demotivators, things that just completely help us to check out from a situation as possible. Just come up with as many as you can think of, and then we're going to share the list in chat.